Alright, I'm back for another AI-only watch campaign. I'll note that in between the last campaign and this one, I played the game again. And I did it with, the House of Brudii. Got my victory, long campaign for them. And the settings basically used for it when I was basically playing was basically hard campaign difficulty. I was going to turn this off for, obvious reasons. And I basically had, everything off except for, everything, on for your remaster settings. Except for Mercenary Trade, which are just, they're just annoying regardless if you're doing, an AM watch campaign or just playing normally. But anyhow, I figured we'll basically leave it on and see, what the hard difficulty basically does in, contrast to, normal difficulty and see, what changes up here. So, I'll start the campaign, we'll drop right in, and we'll go from there. Alright, we jump in. As always, I'll basically put on a toggle for the Fog of War. Oh, I spelled it wrong. So here we basically are. Looking at Tower here, of course, but whatever. All the factions basically are currently in their, original states. And we'll just basically wait to watch, July basically, carry out the first move. So, and turn. And as always, basically, when we're, going through these battles, I'm just going to always resolve whenever, a battle basically occurs with the rebels. And we'll see this basically how this, this scenario unfolds. Now, I'll note that unlike last time, I'm not going to basically go turn by turn, so to speak. I'm basically going to try to leave it to only to those major sort of incidents that basically sort of happen. So, what is sort of going to be sort of different from the norm. So we know they're basically going to go after say the Brudii is going to go up the coast here and take Apollonia, Salonia, Segestica. We'll see basically the skip I come over here, probably attack Syracuse. Probably to go off here and Coralsa at some point. And so forth. So, I'll basically be back when we get to something interesting, so to speak, is the idea. So, bear with me till that happens. Alright, it's a few turns in. I'll note that the Julii basically have an army near Corrales over here, but it was a skip I basically took it. And, well, it looks like this, the Scipii are going after Carthage before going after the, the Greeks, so that's interesting. I'll note that over here, Thrace didn't have any problems taking Byzantium, so they took that and, hooray for them, now I have all their troops to basically use. Not a whole lot basically to update at this point, it's been a few turns in, but I really wish there was a way you can select the turn count somewhere in this game, but whatever. Continuing on then. Alright, I'm just highlighting this battle here because it's basically the Seleucid Empire going after these Palmyrene rebels over here. They actually tried to fight this battle already and they lost, so they're trying it again. And of course they won with the bigger number, but that was their second attempt basically taking Palmyra right there. Well, who saw this coming? We're seeing the Greeks actually going after Libyum over here, which is very odd, to say the least. There's also a large Julii force over here next to these Carthaginians over here near Corrales, so why they're there, who knows? I'll note that over here, the Numidians did try to take Serene, but they were repelled by my valiant militia hoplites and skirmishers. They'll probably try again, but we'll see how it basically goes. But yes, the rebels are still being fought. Sicily's still a battleground. We'll see how it basically goes from here. Alright, we finally have a little bit of action between some other factions here. Over here we see the Spanish basically moving on Corduba over here to try and take it. And I don't see any, Carthaginian armies basically around here at the moment. There's also some British basically attacking the, like, Gaelic forces over here in, like, northern France. Now, before I basically, like, pause the recording again, I'll note that Scythia basically has managed to take over the, like, Bosphorus over here. And they also moved up to basically take, like, Vicus Vendidae, which is very distinct because it didn't actually, like, take anything, like, in normal difficulty, so to speak, I don't think. So, yeah, they're basically, like, going up here and, like, taking, like, the, like, northern stuff for themselves for the most part. Nothing's kicked off over here just yet. They're still taking, like, the summons and stuff, but, how long that'll basically last, who knows. We'll see. Because, there's no more rebel summons really neck of the woods, so to speak. Alright, gonna try again. I'm not sure I was gonna go because I've only got, like, skirmishers versus, like, these guys here, which is not a great matchup for them, but whatever. Yeah. You don't have enough Numidia, you need more forces there. Alright, so, I'll note there's some more wars happening. We have Armenia going after Parthia, Parthia going after Egypt, which is, like, very, very different. I'll note down here, by the way, the Greeks pulled back, and now the Scythians going after Livium, so perhaps they'll take it, we'll see. Ah, so, Parthia's going after the Bosphorus over here. I'm not sure it's a good idea going after Egypt, I mean, it's different. And Armenia up here, who are you going after? You're going after, like, Arsacia. Interesting, because, like, they do have a border, but I mean, it's, like, around Fraspa over here, which is, like, very odd for them to go around, so to speak. Okay, well, it looks like we have our first, like, faction on faction summon taking. So, the Gauls basically lost Condit Radum over here. And perhaps they'll lose more at some point, we'll see. I'm worried these guys are going to go to war at some point. But for now, this is being very peaceful, I guess, so perhaps not for a little bit. Alright, so Lilybaeum has finally fallen to the Scipii. Though the Greeks have a lot of forces over here. They might decide that both these, like, summons are basically ripe for a taking, so maybe we'll go after the Scipii instead of going after Carthage. Or maybe they'll sail over here to take Carthage, who knows, we'll see. It looks like the, Carthaginians have, like, more or less, like, knocked back the Spanish over here. They have, like, enough forces, I guess, to start keeping them at bay from now, so perhaps they'll hang on the Cordoba for a little bit. The Julii are going after, like, these northern Italian states at this point, so they might push out soon. It'd be nice to see, like, the Julii getting a little bit stronger. You're usually, like, very much boxed in for a lot of time, but, Oh, look at this. So Dacia is going after Gaul over here. Very odd to see those two go to war. So yes, Julia's going after Gaul. Thrace and Dacia are at war, apparently. Ah, right here. So Thrace is going after Dacia itself. That's actually probably good for him to go after. It's like, take it before, like, they have a chance to sort of, like, deal with, like, the repercussions of, like, keeping their, like, capital so undefended. And that's their capital right there. So we might see Dacia knocked out very, very quickly. We'll see. Okay, well, stuff is finally starting to kick off. So you'll see me a little bit more talking about, like, stuff as we go along. Alright, well, it seems that Dacia has basically managed to expand a little bit to the west here, which is very odd for them. But at the same time, they lost their capital. So, yeah, not the greatest look for them because, like, that's probably a more valuable save, like, I view them in basically, like, Dacia itself over here. Not a whole lot else to basically report at this point. I mean, there's Gallic armies basically up here. British armies, of course, as well to sort of defend. Julia basically got kicked out of, like, Mediolanum and they're, like, just focused on Patavium over here. Not sure what the Brudi are basically up to, but they have an army right there. The Carthaginians have an army here near Corrales, but whether or not they'll actually attack, that's the thing. Will they attack? And yeah, stuff is happening here because, why not? And of course, Numidia is trying. Trying. At least you got some slingers now involved. We'll see what that basically helps him or not. Alright, I want to basically sort of note this battle, even though like there has been like a failed one before. This is basically the Seleucid Empire going after Helicarnassus. And this is like, you know, a very difficult battle to say the least for, you know, the Seleucids, but we'll see how it basically goes for them. They do have like, you know, 2 armies here with lots of militia hoplites and like, you know, a little bit of levy pikemen, but this is definitely a harder city to take, so yeah, they didn't take it. Militia hoplites are not really good enough for there, so okay, well, Numidia actually take this time. Oh, yeah, they did. So there goes Cyrene to the Numidians. Good job, Numidia. Only took you 3 attempts. It appears that Parthia has been knocked off of Bostra over here, by the way, so hooray for that. Oh, look at that! I see a little bit of red. So Patavium has basically fallen to the Julii. And, you know, they brought their army back, because, like, you know, why not? That Falcon is gonna blow soon. Corduba is basically under siege now, so maybe it'll fall. They got the army here perhaps to take it. And it's just an alliance right now, so not really much else to be really fought here, I think. Alright, well, a couple more wars are popping off. We have the Germanians basically coming here to, like, you know, Lovasic to basically try and take this from Dacia. They got their, like, you know, hands tied, like, trying to go take back their, like, former capital, I think. We've also got the Seleucid Empire going after Parthia here, so maybe they attack this army up here, who knows. But now we got both Egypt and, like, the Seleucids going after Parthia. I don't think they're gonna have a very good time. Plus there's an army up here, and, you know, just not a very good time at all for Parthia. Yes, there's the eruption happening. We're that far into the game now. Most of the old factions, by have been, like, you know, taking this point, so the Seleucids are still trying to take Helicarnassus, but, you know, obviously it's left with, like, you know, Tara over here, like this British army nearby. Themyscira is basically up here. And of course there's, like, you know, Crete. Because Crete always seems to be like one of the last places to go. Alright, well, a couple more wars. Pontus has decided to take it upon himself to try and go after Cretace over here. I'm not sure it's a good idea because they have like an Armenian army over here to basically worry about, but you know, they got a couple armies basically to sort of like deal with them, I guess. And then, of course, there's Macedon and Greek over here. So it looks like the Greeks decided to go after Corinth. That's actually probably like primary target to basically take it out because then, like, you know, it'll link up basically both, like, you know, Ferment to, like, you know, Sparta over here. So definitely like an ideal target for them to go after. Now, Scythia seems to be making some moves, so perhaps we'll see them actually, like, you know, do something this game. And at some point I missed it, but apparently, like, the Julii took Mediolinium over here. The Gauls still have, like, some armies, of course, to sort of deal with them, though, so we might see some, like, you know, some basically fall back toward, like, you know, Gallic control at some point. And, of course, like, Spain's being Spain over here. Just focusing on their attacks and doing the best they can. I'll note that Numidia has an army over here near Phapsis, but, you know, whether or not Carthage, like, you know, does anything about it, who knows, we'll see. Alright then, next turn. And yeah, I'll note that I have to go to information. Pontus versus Armenia, Macedon versus Greek. Well, it was only really a matter of time before, like, you know, one of these guys has to go after the other. The Greeks have pulled back their armies, but perhaps at the wrong time. Macedon's going after Firmin over here, of course, because, like, you know, they're at war, so makes sense. And I don't see a whole lot of changes basically happening just yet, but I mean, at some point some of these, like, you know, factions are going to start, like, you know, exchanging land a little bit more. Alright, so basically, like, you know, Rome's going to war between, like, you know, the Greeks and Julii. And apparently Julii's going after Dacia up here somewhere. Where is that, I wonder? Why would Julii be going after Dacia right now? Oh, Maybe that's why, because the Brudi are going after him. So Brudi army is basically decided to like run up here, I guess. Odd direction for the Brudi to go, but okay, going to like the middle of like nowhere. Scythia's decided to go after Thrace, so that finally happened. Germany's going after Dacia over here. A lot of Scythia armies just around, but not really attacking any of like the Thracian cities just yet. Alright, Numidia and Carthage. So that's of course happening because, gotta try it, gotta keep pushing. You got the rest of Africa already. So yes, war's been declared, but not a whole lot of land has been like, exchanged just yet. Hopefully that'll come soon, somewhere, at some point. And yeah, I'll note they basically, the Seleucids keep trying over here, by the way, so they've been weakened, just not defeated just yet, these guys. Okay, I wasn't expecting that to happen. So, essentially, Parthia came over here and took, like, Artaxorata, and Pontus took, like, Cotace, and Armenia was basically wiped out. I'll note that the Seleucids took after Susa, and it looks like, the Egyptians are going to take, like, the map over here. So, they're making, like, their gain space over here, but, it won't be long before, like, Egypt basically runs out of, like, Parthia targets to go after. So, they'll have to turn their attention toward, like, the Seleucids as, like, intended, so to speak. Still siege going on here. Still siege going on here. Of course, there's still siege going on here. I was waiting for more, like, some cities to sort of fall. And action to sort of occur. Alright, well. Sicily is under Scipii control finally over here. Numidia did take Thapsus, so, Carthage is doing a lot weaker, even though it's got, like, a big army right there of, like, troops. There's an attack on, like, too many fronts to sort of, like, react to it all, I guess. Interesting how Spain has troops over here, but I mean, what's he gonna do with it? I don't really know. And by the way, Dumath has fallen to the Egyptians, so won't be long, as I said, before like these guys have to fight each other, because there's nothing else for the Egyptians to attack besides Numidia, and you're not really gonna attack Numidia, I don't think. Sire! This must have been like, yeah, this guy's disinherited. This guy was basically Armenian. And he's got an oracle with him. Interesting. So, I'll note that I view them. That's the last summit under Dacia control. They lost both Lovasic over here to the Germanians. They lost, like, this to Germania. They lost this to, like, the Brudii. It looks like Dacia's gonna be the next faction to be, like, wiped out soon. So just waiting for that to sort of happen. Down here, the Greeks have taken, like, Corinth. They're going after Athens, though the Macedonians are fighting back to going after Firmin. The Greeks are also going after, like, Lycera up here. So, lots of battles basically happen between, like, the Greek forces over here for sure. Not a whole lot to say basically outside of that. I mean, there is some Seleucids attacking, like, Arsaci up here finally, so they're getting up here slowly. Slowly and surely. Alright, we had some cities fall. Note that Corduba has fallen to the Spanish, so they've been kicked off of Spain. Over here, the Greeks took, like, Athens. Looks like they were kicked off of Lycera, but I mean, they got the forces to sort of like come back and like try again perhaps in the future. And, like, wars are still happening. Alright. These guys, of course, are still, like, battling each other, but the main news basically comes down here in Carthage. So, yes, the Scipii jumped over, took Carthage from the Carthaginians. That means they're down to, like, the last settlement as well, Palma. Will they be one of the first knocked out of this competition already? No one's just made a move on, like, I view them up here against the Dacians, but, that's probably coming very soon. And of course, these guys are still being, like, Greeks over here, of course. The Seleucids are sort of, slowly advancing all their forces up here. So they'll probably take that very soon and like move on to like to take the other ones over here as well. The Scythians and like the Thrace are still like, battling it out over here. Alright, well, I'll note that this has basically happened. The Plague of Macedon is basically occurring. Which means we now have a plague over here in like, Thessalonica. We'll see how it basically plays out against like, the Greek like, battles over here, I guess. And yeah, basically like, alliances and stuff are happening, but nothing like really new is being done for wars and such. Gaul did take back like Condat Renum over here, by the way, but they lost Dacia, so I'm not sure about that exchange for them. Well, I guess the Scythia aren't going to go after the Carthaginians just yet, but them some big armies that they're sort of leaving behind, just sort of like let them do as it will. They're going after Phapsis over here, so good luck, I guess, going after Numidians right now. Wars are still being like fought over here. I still like a plague. And yeah, we're sort of waiting. It's a nice looking Spain. They basically hold all of Spain. Ho ho ho. Berman finally fell, by the way. Though I'll note that up here is probably a bigger story. Scythia has moved on to take like Dacia. And they're going after, like, Campus Gatai over here as well. They might be actually able to actually spam for once, which is, like, odd, to say the least. Now, there was a Juliet army basically advancing toward, like, Ivium up here, but I guess they turned back when they saw, like, this big army right here. Because, why go after that? The Egyptians are going after Numidia. So, I guess they decided, like, well, let's hold off a little bit longer. Why not? We'll let the Seleucids go after, like, Parthia up here, maybe wipe them out, and then we'll turn on them. And it'll be a grand old time. And yes, this Gallic and, like, British armies running around over here, just, like, sort of, like, chilling out, doing their things. By the way, Thrace is here, Egypt is here. Is someone actually going to attack Rhodes? Steadily, it seems the British are making progress against the Gallic forces over here. They've got Lebanon, they've got Alesia. And, like, now Spain's basically coming up from, like, Spain to, like, take Narva Martius over here. I'm not sure how long Gaul's going to exist, but they're down to the last 3 settlements. Not much sure saying that. And, yeah, you guys are at war, because, why not? A little bit of progress here over here to Sirta from, like, the Scipii. Egypt, of course, is, like, moving from Libya over to, like, Cyrene. Not actually sure what the Seleucids are up to, but they're sort of just waiting for the Parthians to do something, I guess. We might see Pontus go after them if they're not, like, doing something soon. First is still here. I'll note they also have an army up here, but, they've had major losses so far against the Scythians. They're trying to strike back here, but will they be successful? I don't know. I kind of want to feel it like they'll take this back, but will they take more? Yeah, I have to say it's not looking good for Thrace. They do have the options to take, like, Chersonese over here in the Bosphorus. And who knows, maybe they'll attack, like, Rhodes, but they're on their last city. And it's like, pretty much undefended for the most part. If this army gets down here and takes it before they take a city back, I think that's it for Thrace. And unlike Dacia, they don't have an army near, like, their last city, so yeah, it's not looking good for them. The Seleucids took over Phrastus, by the way, as well, so Parthus on the last city too. And who knows, maybe Pontus will come after and take it. Maybe these guys will come after and take it. Maybe one of them will take it. And of course, he's just down here too. I kind of missed this, by the way, but the Julii have landed on Palma. This might be it for Carthage as well. Alright, well. Scythia has Byzantium under siege. Will this be it for the Thracians? I'll note that Parthia is like, they're looking okay for now, I guess. But I mean, they got an army over here, a couple armies over here. They've yet to be attacked, but that's probably going to happen sooner or later. And I'll note that the Scythia are coming after here to, like, Leptis Magna. Probably won't be long before they're, like, having a land war of Egypt. So maybe we'll see some interaction between them and Egypt at some point. Gaul lost Narwhal Martius over here, but they're trying to take it back. That's a big, like, Spanish army to go through. There's another one over here as well to sort of, like, fight with us too. Someone might come after these guys soon at some point. Same with Dacians. We'll see. Now, I'll note this, like, Julii army. It's basically dropped off. Basically, it sort of sat there. Jumped on its boat, gone somewhere else. Then the next turn it would drop off, just sort of stand there. So maybe they'll attack, maybe they won't. They're just having this, like, sort of, like, AI spaz yet again, so to speak, unfortunately. Greeks looking okay here, by the way. They have, like, some armies attacking, like, Firmin. They do have some plague to sort of, like, worry about, because, Macedon plague. And of course they're at war with, like, the Bruttii, so there's that too. I'm actually more like Germania is going to go after, like, the Bruttii at some point, by the way, because they're basically out here. And, there's this big, like, Germanian army right here. And there's nothing in there. That might happen. Alright, I feel like Parthia's days are numbered finally. The Seleucids have finally come after him. They're going to try and take their last city. And that'll probably be it for Parthia. Scythia is, like, still, like, just sort of hang on over siege, so that, that might trigger off at some point. And yeah, off they go. Maybe they'll come back. Maybe at some point they'll actually attack, who knows. And that's still sort of like, a battle I'm waiting, so to speak. I forgot to mention, Scythia did take this settlement, so land border. Alright, well, I know this battle is sort of insignificant, but when I basically press the all resolve, note that Byzantium has fallen, which means Thrace has fallen. Second faction eliminated, Thrace. Now it's a question of where the Seleucids will basically put the, like, the final nail into, like, the Parthian Empire over here. I'll note by the way that Spain basically held on to, like, Narwhal Martius, and the British are coming down over here as well to look at them. So Gaul looks to be on their last legs too. And of course Julii in Carthage in Palma. I find it funny that Dacians have not been attacked, by the way, because, like, they have this, like, giant army here and probably the guy's basically thinking, I don't want to attack that. It's not worth my time. Still not sure what's happening over here. And yes, war and war. Alright, well. Last settlement for Gaul. We'll see how long it is before this falls, but, with all these powerful forces around him, I don't think they're going to basically last, because they don't have the forces like Dacia does over here to sort of deter things for a moment. Over here, by the way, Greeks looking very strong. They basically hold, like, the core of Greece over here, so once they basically move up, they either hit, like, the Bruttii or, like, Thessalonica, they'll basically, like, have basically all of Greece for the most part. Which would be nice for them. Nice little power base for Greece. It's really odd that these two haven't gone to war, by the way. They're just sort of like just sitting here, like, not attacking each other, so we'll probably have another strong Seleucid in this, like, game. I will not buy what they, like, did knock off, like, Seleucids the first time, the Parthians, but whether or not they actually, like, follow up with an attack, who knows, we'll see. So impressed that, like, the Thracians basically fell to the Scythians over here, though. For sure. Well, I'll note that the Seleucids are basically at it again. There's still this Parthian army over here, but, whether or not it actually attacks or not, like, if these guys basically fail again, which they might, but, they might hold off again, like, Parthians, we'll see. Gaul is basically like, guys' armies facing near Macedon at this point, but it's just a matter of time before one of these guys sends their armies and see and they sort of crush them, I think. And Julii are being Julii over here. Alright, well, this is new. Scythia is at war with Parthia. I completely forgot that, like, the Parthians had someone up here. That just means that they're doubly dead. Especially if, like, Scythians wipe them out over here. Alright, there we go. Now the Gauls are on their last legs. The Spanish have moved in. They're going to go after Macedon, try and take it. And that'll be it for them. I wonder if everyone's going to move on to Julia over here. Dacia still is sort of hanging out, not doing anything for a moment. The Scythians did actually take, like, Artraxa over here, so he's just up here now. What are you doing, the Parthians? Scythia is next to your city. Okay, well, I guess that's probably it for Parthia. By the way, down here I looked at the, the Bruttii are going after the Greece, and like Macedon's going after like Lycura again, so well, the Greeks are, gonna be able to put up a fight, but how will they do? I don't know. And yes, Julii, Palma. Maybe eventually, who knows. And there we go. Parthia has been destroyed. Scythia took that last settlement. And of course this means that these guys right here. Well, that's unfortunate. One moment. Alright, where were we? So, here's basically the Parthian army over here that, like, basically disbanded because, like, he had disinherited. Alright, well, that's basically it for Parthia. Now it's a question of where, like, Gaul basically, like, followed this, like, turn. Or if, like, Julia actually attacked Palma now, they basically reload, because that is also a thing that could happen. Let's watch. It looks like Gaul gets to live one more day. The Spanish pulled back, or they're defeated. Either or happened. But there's a big Julii over here, and, well, that's probably a good target for that Julii army to go after. Especially since this one keeps going back and forth still. Hooray. Huzzah. By the way, the Greeks lost, like, Firma over here, so the Bruttii now have, like, a, further step pace in the Greece over here. They're going after Lycura, though, with their forces. So that might be taken by them. Alright, well. At this point, there's been a fairly, like, large number of battles. And that's just like an uprising over there. I think at this point we're going to basically call it here for, like, this episode. We'll basically see what basically happens as we go along here. But basically all the rebel settlements have been more or less taken, except for, like, over here, over here, over here, and over here. And basically we've seen, like, Parthia fall, we've seen Armenia fall. We saw Thrace fall. We'll probably see, like, Dacia and Gaul fall soon. Maybe Carthage too. Oh, look at that. The skip I've already made down to, like, this part of Africa. So maybe Numidia will fall at some point as well. Anyhow, we'll see what happens in the next episode, but this is good enough for now, so take care.